Hello and welcome back. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Erin.
And this is the Getaways Podcast. We continue in spring. We've had a couple of good days.
We have. It was supposed to rain, but it did not.
So something's coming up for us that we haven't really talked about, and that is we are moving.
We are moving.
And staying in the Netherlands, but moving to another part of the Netherlands.
My son got into a really good engineering school in Eindhoven.
Yeah, so next month we will be moving. So we will have different things to explore and different things to talk about. We'll also be a lot closer to Belgium and Germany.
Yep.
So I would imagine, in Luxembourg. So I would imagine that we will be covering them in a little bit greater depth in the coming months and years.
And for all you people that are like lining up to come visit Eindhoven, we will get you covered.
But there is interesting stuff, and it's very close to Den Bosch, which has interesting, like the parade, like a weird parade. The flower parades are there this weekend.
Yeah.
Like there's events that go on, even though it's a smaller city. A lot of expats too, because people are coming in for work there.
Lisa went to a new hairdresser the other day, and did you bring it up first?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
I must have.
And he lived there for a while. I don't think it's for the young. Well, it is for the young.
Well, he lived there for 21 days. 21. He's like, not that I was counting. I was counting.
Oh, but it is for the young kids because there's a lot of universities there. So it's going to be good for Dylan. It's going to be good. We got a great house.
Yeah. So we will be sounding a little bit different too, because we will be recording in a different place.
Yes, we will have our new recording studio. So be on the lookout in 1 month.
But today we are going back to I feel like I say this about everywhere, but one of the coolest places I think that we've been, and that's in Croatia.
Lisa's homeland.
My homeland. But to the waterfall parks, I'm going to let you throw them down the names.
Okay. So the first one we went to was, it's spelled Krka, and it's pronounced, no, I can't roll my R, so you're just going to have to forgive me, Krka.
Yeah.
And then,
Krka is how an American would say it.
Krka. And then the other one, which is how we even found out about these national parks through Instagram posts.
Right.
Because I had never even heard of it, is when we went, we were living in Italy, so we thought we called it Plitvice, because, but it's not. It's Plitvice. Plitvice. It's Plitvice. So as an American, we would have said Plitvice.
Right.
But that's not what it is.
But both are pretty extraordinary, but they have differences, and they're, I don't think that many people go to Croatia more than once besides us.
No, yeah.
So it's something that's very much a part of the country and something that you should experience, but you probably won't be able to do both of them unless you're there for quite an extended period of time.
Yeah.
So we were going to kind of just spend today like running through the differences and maybe helping you kind of understand or describe what they both are so that you know what you're looking for and which one makes more sense for your trip.
Yes. Now, from either Zagreb or Split, there's probably tours.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can do like a whole bus situation. Yeah. Even if you drive yourself to either national park, there's also guided tours.
Yeah.
And there's like boat situations that you can do. Like there's all kinds of crazy options on like Get Your Guide and Viator and all that kind of stuff.
Was it Krka that we still had to park and take the bus?
Yeah.
When we get to that, beating my pants a little bit. I didn't really, but it was scary to me.
It was scary?
Yeah, remember? It was like the bus and we were going down like cliffs, going like getting down to the canyon.
You're going to scare people. It was totally fine.
Oh, no, we're alive and it was great and there was no danger. But in my head, we're on a cliff in a bus with somebody else driving. I have control issues.
But okay, so yes, but that one we had to park then for
Plitvice.
Plitvice. You can park like very, very close to the entrance.
Yes, and walk in.
And both places you can buy tickets at the door. You can do it ahead, but I don't think it saves you any money either.
No.
And it's no more than like the conversion of like 15 euros either place.
Correct.
To get in.
Now, I don't know, and I should have probably researched this before this. I don't know if Plitvice, if they cap it in the summer, because we did not go in the summer.
Yeah.
Because you can't fit too many people in.
No, you can't. So here's the setup of both parks. There are a series of waterfalls and lakes that are all sort of connected. And the way that guests and visitors see it is through wooden plank walkways that are very organic to nature. Like they go right into, you go right over the water, you go right over the meadows or the foliage, but you're very much in it without being obtrusive, I feel like.
Correct.
So both of those have that element of the incredible waterfalls, all the water being connected, lakes, all of it, and they both have services. They both have places where you can stop and eat, but you'll spend a different amount of time in one from the other. But all right, so now with that setup,
should we start with what we did first?
Yeah, that's fine.
So we did Krka first. We were staying in Split, or an island right off of Split. And so it's about an hour drive from Split. It's the smaller park.
It's definitely the smaller park.
And there's less waterfalls at this one. There's a few very powerful ones, but when we get to Plitvice, that's just, it's a whole nother world.
It's a whole nother world.
But so Krka, like I said, we drove for an hour from Split, which was easy and beautiful. And we parked, and then then you take a bus that takes you from the top down into the gorge, I guess, kind of is what it is. It's famous for the Skradensky Buk waterfalls. I think that was that really super big one.
Yeah.
Right? And they used to allow swimming, which we were really excited about. But once we got there, they don't anymore. Swim.
And I will say that we were there in summer and it was quite crowded. I mean, it was manageable, but it was quite crowded. And the bus we had Rex with us, and which, speaking of swimming, he went swimming.
He wasn't supposed to, but he enjoyed a dip in the lakes.
Yeah, he kind of, and we had it was so funny because we were walking on the wooden plank, and then he sort of just took his own little way and he jumped into the water, and it was warm. Yeah. So I don't blame him, because I would have too. But what he didn't realize and what we didn't realize is that it was deep. Yeah. Because he then kind of disappeared and came back up and was actually swimming, because I thought he was just going to walk through the water, and then, oh no, he was doing it.
And we didn't get in trouble.
No. Well, I'm not entirely sure that he even meant to. I think it was like he was walking and all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, I'm in the water. Yeah. That's what I tell people at least. But it was disappointing that you couldn't swim, but there was a lot of people, so it probably is a pollution situation.
Yeah, and honestly, yes, a pollution situation. And honestly, like, it would take away from the moment. I feel like if you're walking and enjoying the beauty, and then you hear a bunch of
cannibal.
Yeah, like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
I didn't see fish. Did you see fish? There's got to be fish.
I don't remember, but.
So like I said, there used to be swimming, not anymore. Along your journey at Krka there's monasteries, there's a lot of viewpoints. We've got a lot of pictures. I was going to post something this week, and a lot of rivers.
A lot of rivers, yeah.
And yeah, it was a really nice introduction.
Yeah. And so for there, like I said, there's services, so you can stop and get lunch or ice cream or a cold drink or whatever you want. But I would say a couple hours to allow 4 to go there.
At least, but not more than 3.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's a half day. Yeah. Including your drive, but certainly worth it. I mean, it's beautiful.
Now, what they did have that I don't remember Plitvice having is, like, they had a lot of like souvenir shops and cantinas. Like, it was touristy.
Well, it's a little bit closer to civilization too. So I think it is the one that's easier to go to. And so they have a lot more of, sort of the touristy stuff. Yeah. That is also not a World Heritage site, and the other one is.
Correct.
So I think that it probably gets a little bit more prestige because there was that one shop, right, when you go in. Remember, we got the playing cards there? Yeah. But there's nothing along the way in Plitvice.
And then towards the end, there were like places where you could eat, and then like that weird looking saloon thing that had the mannequin out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so it definitely catered to tourism, and probably because it is closer to civilization. You're right about that. Yeah. Like I said, it's an hour from Split, and if you're going to Croatia, you need to see Split anyway. Right. So they're both super popular, but the Krka, you feel like you have a little bit more space, and we'll get to it with Plitvice because you're in Plitvice. Forgive me for how
we're trying.
you're on the boardwalk a lot.
Right.
A lot. And it's narrow.
Right.
So you're not like passing people.
I think that's kind of all I have to say about Krka, though. Do you have something else?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's easy. It's flexible. It's shorter than the other. It's connected to civilization.
Right.
So then we can now start talking about Plitvice,
which is Croatia's oldest and largest national park. It was the first national park declared, and then, like I said, it's also a World Heritage Site
since 1979.
Yeah, it is also a bit of a trek. It is right on the Bosnia and Herzegovina border, and it is not a bustering metropolis near it. It's very rural. It's very, like there are places to stay, but they're all either Airbnbs, B&Bs, tiny little hotels. There are some restaurants, but they're pretty few and far between.
Yeah, we stayed at an Airbnb within a 10-minute drive of the park.
Yeah.
And we had to cook in that night because there's nowhere to eat really.
Yeah. The grocery store was close, and there was a couple mom and poppy neighborhood restaurants, but a lot of them were connected with hotels, hotels too. But, when I say hotels, I'm talking about
motel,
10 rooms tops. Most are, converted houses that rent out room kind of things as Airbnbs or, just rooms for rent.
We stayed in it was nice.
Yeah. And we had an enormous property.
It was huge. The owners lived on top, on the top floor.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel weird. But I remember being very scared of bears when I would take Rex out at night.
Well, it's super rural.
And dark.
I mean, you're out there.
Yeah. Are there bears in Slovenia? I mean, in Croatia?
I have no idea.
There's probably not, but in my head, there's bears everywhere.
But it's the kind of thing where if you go there to visit, you go there to visit, and then you'd probably want to spend the night somewhere, but it's not like you're going to, you're seeing rural countryside Croatia. You
Correct.
Are not in any kind of city or any kind of it's a bit.
It's a 2-hour drive from Zagreb.
Mm-hmm.
So
that makes for a long day because you want to spend the whole day
at the bus.
Yeah.
The bus, right?
Yeah.
You do the tours, but it's a 2-hour drive. So you can base out of Zagreb if you want to.
Right.
But we went there first we spent 2 nights there.
Yeah.
And then we went to Zagreb for
Easter.
Yeah. But it is so beautiful.
It is. I mean, I don't use this word very often, but it is breathtaking.
When we saw it on Instagram, right when we moved to Europe, we started getting more Europe-based travel posts coming up on our For You page. And Lisa kept sending it and going, look at this. And I was like, oh, we got to go there.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do it. And I'm not sad.
Well, and we had booked another place before. We had tried to go before. And then the big C-19 shut us down. Remember, we rented another house.
Oh yeah, we did.
And we were going to go do it during the day, then COVID had other plans. But the water is just like this ridiculous turquoisey blue green. The waterfalls are enormous. I mean, ridiculously large and loud and powerful, and you can watch them forever, but there's so much to see. Its scope is enormous.
Yeah, and there are so many waterfalls because what it is, it's 16 terraced lakes, not ponds, lakes that are terraced. So from the top, you've got waterfalls, then they're coming all the way down. I mean, it is. So
they're all, those lakes are connected by the waterfalls, and they are, everywhere you turn, it's like, oh, wait, I got to take a picture that way. I got to take a picture that way. I mean, it literally is, it's incredible. And you are right in it on these wood planks.
Yeah.
I mean, you are literally getting the breath of the waterfall in your face.
Yes. And again, we went in spring, so we wouldn't have wanted to anyway, but there's no swimming. I don't think there's been swimming here for years and years and years.
No, and I would imagine that it gets boiling hot
in the summer.
So
packed. I've seen videos where it's just like you're waiting in line at an amusement park.
Yeah.
You have to step with the people in front of you. So go in spring or in winter.
Even fall's probably lovely.
Go like not in peak out because it was perfect. Like
I don't know that I'd go in winter because it would freeze on that thing. So
yeah.
I would go fall, spring.
But there was like, I don't know, less than 100 people there when we were there.
I mean, it was crazy. That's why it's hard for me to think that like gets more crowded or more difficult because it was so not our experience.
Yeah.
You know, Krka there were a lot of people there, and there was, I mean, we could tell you, oh, there's the girl in the red coat, because you kept seeing the same people over and over again, if you were on the same path. But there's also tons of ways that you can walk and explore. And it's just, the scope, like I said, is just enormous. So you could spend an entire day there.
Which we did.
Yeah.
We did.
And we did have Rex with us that time too. And the crowd situation would be a problem with a dog if it was crowded.
Yes.
But he had a fantastic time.
The only place that I got like where my muscles clenched was when you have to take a boat from one place to the other side of a lake to continue.
He did great though.
He did, but there were people. It wasn't a crowded boat, but there were people enough that we were surrounded a little bit.
Yeah, but you did a great job, Rexy.
He did. He was pretty new to us then though too, wasn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, again, the same thing. Like there's a place where you can grab lunch or you can pack in.
We had hamburgers there.
Yeah.
Oh no, we had sandwiches like at a cabin outside.
And sat at like picnic tables.
Yeah. Which is why I know there are bears, because they had bear trash cans there.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And there's that little tram too that you can take.
That takes you to the different parking lots.
Yeah. Yeah.
From when you get to the far end, it'll take you back to all the different parking lots along the lake, which we took.
Yeah. But like we said before, the parking lots are not terribly far. It's just the park is so big that if you are at one end and you decide that you're done, so that you have an option to get back. And
I might be incorrect, but I do believe parking was free there.
I think it was like the equivalent of €2 or something. If it was anything, it wasn't expensive. And like I said, getting in was, I think, $15 a person. So not an expensive day. And it is a full day.
Yeah. I can't say enough about it.
No, I know.
Now I want to go back.
But if you're going to either, you need shoes with grip, because the walkways can get a little bit slippery, and you're walking for a very long time on uneven surfaces.
You're walking and sometimes you're on the actual rock.
Right.
And then sometimes you're on the walkways. But yes, it can get a little slippery. You are walking for hours. For hours
and hours. So I would bring water, even if you're there in not hot weather. I would bring some sort of rain protection in case
if
things
you're there in the
turn.
summer, I would go early.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, like I said, there are tours that can take you to specific places and have, like we just kind of meandered at both places.
Which is what I would do. I would recommend.
Yeah. But if you're, like you said, if you're going from Zagreb because that is a long day and you're taking the bus, like, you'll get the highlights with those people if you're limited on time.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
I don't think we did.
But yeah, it's and a lot of people go to Croatia and just think about like the
Dubrovnik.
Dalmatian coast and the islands and Dubrovnik, and like all of that. But inside the country, there is so much to offer. I mean, we already talked about Zagreb quite a bit, but these two places are 100% like unique to anywhere else I've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen any like that amount of and that kind of waterfall. It's a weird thing to say, but they're very specific.
Yeah.
And the lakes and how sort of integrated and organic the walkways are. It's just a really cool experience. So if you're in Croatia, plan half a day or a day to do either one of these, whichever you think suits you better. But if I were giving advice on which to do, I would say
Plitvice.
Yes.
Plitvice.
But if there's any chance you were going to do both, you have to do Krka first.
Yes. Yeah, because if you do Plitvice first, then Krka is going to be like,
I mean, it's still lovely.
Yes.
But it's nowhere near the grandeur of Plitvice. All right. So that's our 2 cents, man.
Yeah. So if you're in Croatia and you're up in the northern area, I would definitely try to plan somewhere, one of the two. Yep.
Do it.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
We'll see you next week. Check out the website, www.thegetawayswithaz.com. And yeah, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.